Oh, cartoons, little animated things of joy that brought us so much happiness whenever we were growing up. We'd sit down, punk our asses right in front of the TV, get yelled at, don't sit too fucking close to it, you'll go blind and shit. And we really didn't fucking care whatsoever, because it was just like, dude, it's a fucking cartoon, that cartoon's gonna be really awesome. So we'd sit down and we were watching them and everything. We get to go and see all these fictional characters and these fictional settings go on these fictional adventures, and it didn't really fucking matter because it was fucking sweet. And I mean, in a lot of ways, it influenced us, you know, it helped mold our personalities and everything. And even as many of us gotten older, still like them quite a bit. As a matter of fact, we end up liking even more. We end up dabbling in things from just the basic American Saturday morning cartoons up into things like anime. You know, I went from just liking basic cartoons into jumping like balls deep into things like Dragon Ball Z and getting my feet wet with anime, and then went on from there to become a big anime fan like I am right now. But when you were growing up, what were your favorite cartoons? The ones, I mean, like, you watched obsessively. You watched all the time, no matter what. You weren't going to miss a single episode. You knew lines word for word. You had seen every single episode multiple times. You had action figures. You had clothes. Every single birthday, if there was something you could wish for, it was something based around that cartoon or those cartoon characters. So which ones were the ones that you liked the most? Now, I'm going to name off two. I'll probably name off more after that, but I'm going to name off two very, very major ones, at least for me. And that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman the Animated Series. Both of which I still like quite a bit today. I've talked about both of them throughout the duration of me doing all these videos on YouTube and everything. But, yeah, it's kind of cool to have a video where I'm talking specifically just about those now, and a couple other cartoons, which I will name soon. But with Batman the Animated Series, you know, we had Batman the Animated Series, which went on for quite a while, and it was really cool because it took a lot of the aspects of Batman and the comic books, you know, and it adapted it to a cartoon series very well. I mean, artistically, it was amazing looking. And the thing is, it's one of those things an adult could sit down, which, you know, they normally would probably just be like, oh, it'll just be corny kiddie stuff, and it really wasn't. I mean, it was very gritty, you know, and a lot of stuff, it was actually pretty violent and just like had a very, very adult theme to it. And that's something I really appreciated about it, was you didn't feel like, you know, this was being watered down just for like a certain demographic. It was really, really well done and still holds up today. You know, we've had Batman the Animated Series, we've had Batman Beyond, we've had The Batman, we've had Batman the Brave and the Bold, and, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And it makes me really happy, you know. And then there was like offshoots of that. We've had Teen Titans, Young Justice, Justice League Unlimited, and everything that I named off, I've watched, and I've watched every single episode. As a matter of fact, right now I'm still watching Young Justice, and they're supposed to be rebooting Teen Titans, so pretty happy about that. But point being is that was a big cartoon for me. That's what got me into reading the Batman comics, was Batman the Animated Series. I'd get an issue here and there, and I got the games and everything like that, and I thought Batman was very fucking cool. But here I am, you know, like, I have my camera set up on my bookshelf where I have all of my books and everything, and, I mean, I have graphic novels out the ass of Batman. I've got, I don't know how many, because I haven't actually sat down and count, but I know that I have a lot. I have well over 50, and that's quite a bit of dedication and everything for a regular person. I've had all the Batman the Animated Series box sets, all the movies and everything, you know, like the Sub-Zero with Mr. Freeze, Mask of the Phantasm, which is arguably one of the best ones ever, Mystery of the Batwoman, which a lot of people didn't really like. It definitely wasn't as good as the other two, but it's still really good. And then you have the newer ones, which they had Dark Knight Returns Part 1 by Frank Miller, which I was happy as hell to be able to see that. You know, Under the Red Hood, which a lot of people have gotten into. You know, the ones with Superman were extremely good. But, I mean, there were so many. And I continue to be a fan of these because they're just fantastic. And so long as they keep making Batman stuff of high quality, which they have been, I'm still going to be around. And I have all this thanks to Batman the Animated Series. You know, fantastic voice work, fantastic art, fantastic action scenes, and, you know, it brought a lot of characters to life. You didn't have Harley Quinn before Batman the Animated Series. Mr. Freeze didn't really matter to a lot of people until they gave him like a definite story on there. You know, and it was really, really good. You know, and to this day, many people revere Mark Hamill as like the definitive Joker. He is the voice of the Joker, and that's how I always view him, you know. And if you don't know him, then let's see, Luke Skywalker. There you go. He's Luke Skywalker, and on top of that, he's done the voice for the Joker in Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. He's just really fantastic at it. You know, not to downplay anybody else that is on the show, but he definitely stole the spotlight just from sheer charisma alone. So Batman animated series, really great. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's people who are just like, oh, I was a big fan of it. I was like, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power, they're the world's most fiercest fighting team. We're really hip. They're heroes and a half shell, and they're green. Hey, get a grip. And when the evil Shredder attacks, those Turtle Boys won't cut them no slack. I'm trying to remember all the words off the top of my head, but I shit you not, every fucking time that theme song kicked, I was jumping around. I was like, yeah, oh, that's fucking awesome, oh, just going fucking ballistic, because I knew that I was going to see my favorite Michelangelo run around and fucking say goofy jokes, and Raphael was going to be a badass, and he was all going to be like this, and Leonardo was going to be there, and I always called him the fucking dork of the group, even though Donatello technically, by proxy, should be the fucking nerd of the group, but, you know, he was the one that built the machines, and he was the fucking brains of it, so I respect that. He had a sweet fucking bow staff, even though Leonardo had dual swords, and come on, dual wielding swords is pretty cool, but he's just like, he was fucking cornball. And Shredder's so fucking badass. And Casey Jones, oh my god, fucking Casey Jones, man. He was the shit. Then the Ninja Turtle movie, it was amazing whenever that came out. And they said damn. When they said damn in the movie, like, kids around the entire world were like, oh, I swear. It was too much information to process for most kids. Like, whenever it was said, I was like, I can't believe it. Can I say that now? I can say it. I can say it? Can I? Damn. Alright, maybe not. Can't say that. Bad idea. But it was very, very fucking cool. But the cartoon started off. I mean, it's strange because I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures before I ever saw a single episode of the cartoon. And I thought it was kind of weird. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which Ninja Turtles it was, but it was from the original set whenever they first came out. But, you know, my mom had come home from, I think it was Kmart, and had them and everything. And, you know, I'm sitting there ripping all the little toys out of it. Like, it came in this one plastic thing, and you had to snap, like, the weapons out of it. They were all brown and shit, which is kind of funny. But, you know, it got them out, and I'm sitting there playing with them, and then eventually started watching the cartoon. This is very early on in life of everything, and I was just like, wow, this is really fucking cool. You know, and got really into it, and became just obsessed with it. I had Ninja Turtle underwear. I had Ninja Turtle t-shirts. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of me upstairs from school where I'm wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt for school. There's, let's see, 2 different years at school. That's where I wore it for school day. It was a bitchin' t-shirt. I had a book bag. I still remember it. It was a big square purple book bag with green zippers on it. I mean, it was squared, like a big fucking cube on your back and shit. But it was awesome. You know, I had the play sets. I had everything. As a matter of fact, on my Facebook, I have a ton of pictures of me on there. I know that on my Alpha Mega Sin Facebook, I uploaded a picture of me when I was little, and I have some Ninja Turtle stuff with me, including my my Super Mario box that I still have, you know, sitting in the background. But it was very, very cool to grow up like that, because it was so neat. Like, you and your friends would get together, everybody would pick out who they're going to be. You know, if there was more than 4 of you, then all of a sudden people would be like, alright, well, I guess you're going to have to be a bad guy. You're Rocksteady, you're Bebop, and everything like that. You know, who's going to be Krang? Nobody wants to be Krang, because you're a weird fucking robot, and then you're like a brain in the fucking stomach. Like, nobody wants to be that, and he's like tentacle rape arms and shit. No, nobody wants to talk like that, and it's fucking horrible. That was a terrible impression. Fuck you, I tried. But anyway, it was just a really cool time. Like, every time I saw it, it was so much fun. You know, I had the VHS tapes. Yes, VHS. Before Blu-ray, before DVD, VHS. What was it? They had, I forget if it was McDonald's or Burger King, but they had Ninja Turtle VHS tapes as well. I had some of those. I had, one of the worst ones that I had was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was this it was like a live musical show, and it had them all on there, and they'd sing songs. It was one of the worst things ever. My mom had gotten that for me. You know, I'm looking, I'm all excited, I'm watching it, and I just kept on thinking, this is fucking stupid. This is horrible. I hate this. And I remember there was one song in particular that I hated. It was Splinter, and it was talking about skipping stones, and I was like, this is fucking horrible. Like, I wasn't actually saying that, but I thought it was like one of the worst things ever. They were wearing like bedazzled outfits and everything. They looked like idiots. I was just like, this is not Ninja Turtle. Ninja Turtles talk about partying, going, kicking the crap out of the Foot Clan and everything. I was just like, yeah, that's what they do. And then pizza, you know. And today, my favorite food is still pizza. And I still think ninjas are really fucking sweet. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I even got a pet turtle because of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Even though I didn't really take care of it because I was just like, I want a turtle! He doesn't turn into a hero in a half shell and he's not a ninja. Alright. Go about my day and everything. But you know, it was a very, very cool time. You know, kids got to dress up like that, and it's something that still impacts me today. And many of you had seen that that little rant I did. Did a little rant about Michael Bay fucking up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which naturally that's still in like production purgatory. I'm hoping that it just burns in the deepest recesses of hell, never to return. And I'd like to think that it's flaming pitchfork rape for him for all eternity. Like, I'm talking like right down his fucking dick hole. That would be fantastic. But you don't fuck with something that people hold near and dear. As a matter of fact, they rebooted Ninja Turtles. They have it on Nickelodeon now. I haven't watched it. I don't know. It's one of those things I'm like, too scared to even fucking go near. I want to just remember it for what it is. And even after, you know, there was the big run of Ninja Turtles in the 80s and 90s and everything, they brought them back, and it was dark and edgy and everything. It was very good because it reminded me of the comics. I was like, hey, good job. So, you know, I was iffy about that too, but, you know, it actually turned out good. So, I can't say that it'll be bad, but, you know, I don't know yet. But those two cartoons, just absolutely fantastic, and were a really big part of my life. Every time I came home from school, you know, on days off, those were things that I was watching frequently, you know, and I just loved to death. Beyond that, there was the typical, you know, I watched lots of Looney Tunes cartoons. I still enjoy them today. Disney had a really cool little cartoon block where they had Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, things like that. I watched a show of those. There was Beast Wars, which was fucking awesome. Anybody who's a fan of Transformers, when you saw Beast Wars, you're like, holy shit! It was so fucking badass. From being a fan of Looney Tunes, you know, there was Tiny Toon Adventures, which I love the crap out of those. I even had the games and watched that obsessively, like every fucking episode. Animaniacs was really good. Freakazoid kicked a ton of ass. It was a ton of stuff, man. Very good childhood. You know, everybody's got something when they grow up, and nowadays, you know, I'd want to sit my kid down, and I'd be like, all right, you're gonna watch regular show and Adventure Time. Watch those. That's how I'd mold my child, and then I'd get him to watch, you know, Young Justice. I'm like, this is badass. So, you know, you gotta bring him up on the good shit too. But you know, as the title would suggest, and as the question would suggest, what did you grow up on? I mean, this is like a big fucking nostalgia trip. It really is. But, you know, a trip down memory lane is something, it's very fun. You know, you get to reminisce and look back on things that you liked a lot. And especially if there are things that you still enjoy today. Because that's pretty much me in a nutshell, is I still enjoy all these things a whole lot. So, I'm just kind of curious. What were the cartoons that you grew up with? What were your favorites? Do you have any favorite episodes, any characters, anything like that? If you want to make a video response, because this is something that you can talk about in great length instead of have to, like, put out an entire paragraph and then, like, alright, continued from before, paragraph, continued from before, and going from there if you feel like it. But, yeah, it's something very fucking fun to just talk about. So, those were two of my favorites. Wanted to go and throw out those little extra ones and everything like that. So, I will conclude this, like always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers. Game the fuck on.